In the second episode of Revenant, Hae-sang tries to sneak into Hyunwoo's house, but he is stopped by Hyunwoo's parents. They start acting strangely when they hear a young girl crying inside the house. Sanyang and Jin-wook, who are frightened, quickly leave the house to escape from Hyunwoo's ghost. Sanyang takes Jin-wook near a mirror to see if the ghost is still following them. Fortunately, the ghost is gone, but Sanyang remembers that Hae-sang said it would return until they figure out why. She asks Jin-wook about Hyunwoo's death and learns that they didn't bully him. Hyunwoo was worried about his family and had asked for their help. Sadly, they ignored him, and he ended up taking his own life. Sanyang calls Hae-sang and tells him that Hyunwoo is worried about a sibling, but there are no records of him having one. After the call, Sanyang spots Hyunwoo's ghost again. They start running, and Sanyang asks Jin-wook to go home, but he insists on following her. Meanwhile, Hae-sang tries to peek inside the house and sees a young girl crying in the basement. He promises to save her, but Hyunwoo's parents spot him and capture him before he can do anything. In another place, the police are investigating the death of the young boy, and they discover that Hyunwoo's dad was present. Hyunwoo's dad swears that he didn't kill the boy. He tripped and fell to his death on his own. He tells Hyunwoo's mom that they will have to kill the girl and figure out what to do with Hae-sang. He mentions that they never registered the girl's birth, so no one will know if they kill her. As discussions about Hae-sang's fate take place upstairs, he manages to free himself and convinces the little girl, Jung Hyun-ji, that Hyunwoo sent him to rescue her. Hae-sang asks Hyun-ji to escape through the window while he holds the door. Just in time, Sanyang arrives and helps them rescue Hyun-ji, as the police arrive and secure the area. Hyunwoo's ghost is relieved to see his sister saved, and he can finally find peace. After everything is settled, Sanyang still refuses to believe that she is possessed by an evil spirit. She believes that everything happened because of the evil nature of humans. She leaves and tries to blame stress for what happened. Sanyang visits a therapist and is given medication because her stress levels are high. The therapist doesn't believe in ghosts and thinks Sanyang's experiences are hallucinations. Life returns to normal, and Sanyang relies on her friend Saemi, who has normal worries like financial burdens. Hae-sang performs a ritual to send off Hyunwoo and receives a visit from Woo-jin. Woo-jin is worried about the evil spirit that has attached itself to Sanyang. We learn that it's the same spirit that killed Hae-sang's mom. Woo-jin also questions why Kang-mo wrote to Hae-sang before his death, asking him to take care of Sanyang, even though they had never met. Woo-jin believes that Kang-mo knew about the evil spirit and worries that Hae-sang will get hurt in his search for answers. The next day, Saemi convinces Sanyang to attend an engagement party of an old classmate because she wants to reconnect with one of her crushes. It turns out that Saemi's crush is Officer Hong-shae, but he is unaware of Saemi's feelings. He becomes more curious about Sanyang and tries to follow her when she abruptly leaves the dinner party, but he misses her. The next day, Sanyang starts working as a mover and encounters a spoiled child who throws tantrums if she doesn't get what she wants. The child is searching for her favorite doll, but it turns out that the evil spirit inside Sanyang took it to teach the spoiled child a lesson. This is the first time Sanyang realizes that she sometimes loses track of time and ends up in places she didn't intend to be. She panics, throws the doll away, and runs off. While Sanyang is at work, Hae-sang visits her home and talks to Kyung-mon. Kyung-mon becomes frightened when she hears that Sanyang might be in danger. She tells Hae-sang about the hair ribbon that Kang-mo left for his daughter. Hae-sang quickly rushes out to meet Gang-mo's mother, Sukran. After Hae-sang leaves, Kyung-mon texts Sanyang, asking if she knows the professor and why he visited their home. Sanyang is still shocked by what happened with the doll. She runs until she reaches a busy street. She stops to catch her breath, and that's when she notices two shadows and her reflection on a mirrored wall talking to her and asking her to guess their name. She becomes possessed and is shown the way to her grandmother's house, so she decides to go there. Hae-sang arrives at the house first but is unable to save Sukran. He only has a brief conversation with her before she goes to fetch Kang-mo's research on the red hair ribbon for him. Hae-sang has many questions, such as why Kang-mo had the ribbon and why he never agreed to meet him. However, Sukran couldn't answer his questions because she opens the door to the ghost and hangs herself. The book containing the research on the ribbon is also set on fire. When Sanyang arrives at her grandmother's house, she finds that the room is starting to catch fire. Hae-sang is desperately trying to save Sukran, but unfortunately, he is unable to rescue her, and the police declare her dead when they arrive. Hae-sang calls Myung-chon and asks for his help in restoring the partially burnt book. Myung-chon, however, suspects Sanyang's involvement in another suspicious death and wonders if she killed Sukran to inherit her wealth. Hae-sang assures him that she is innocent. The death of her grandmother becomes too overwhelming for Sanyang, and she tries to end her own life by running into oncoming traffic. The evil spirit taunts her, but Hae-sang intervenes and saves her. He invites her to his house and shows her his research and a letter left by her father. Sanyang questions why her father would leave the cursed hair ribbon for her if he knew the consequences it would bring. Hae-sang wonders how Kangmo acquired the ribbon since his mother was holding it when she died. At this point, Sanyang can clearly see the shadow of the evil spirit, which is growing larger. Meanwhile, Myung-chon enlists the help of Hong-shae to solve these mysterious cases, including his first case. He appeals to Hong-shae by mentioning the possibility of a promotion and asks him to see the bigger picture. They begin with the investigation of Hae-sang's mother's death. When Hae-sang was young, the police didn't take his statement seriously, but Myung-chon believes that his mother was murdered and the scene was staged as a suicide. He is certain that the culprit managed to escape and is connected to other cases. Hae-sang's mother died in 1995, shortly after his father's death. After the funeral, Hae-sang fell ill, but his mother didn't take him to the hospital. Instead, she drove east and only stopped to bury a mysterious object. They spent the night at a bed and breakfast, and Hae-sang woke up to a knock on the door but couldn't find his mother. When he opened the door, he saw the ghost. The next thing Hae-sang remembers is waking up in a hospital, where his grandmother informed him that his mother had committed suicide. However, Hae-sang is convinced that his mother was killed while trying to escape from the ghost, as he witnessed it himself. His mother's last attempt to save herself was by burning the red hair ribbon she held. As Hae-sang and Sanyang talk, she realizes that she witnessed her grandmother's death from the perspective of the ghost. She can recall the contents of the research book and draws a map, and they begin their search for the location indicated on the map. Since the map is old, they will have to consult old books to identify the area. After working tirelessly throughout the night, they finally find the location mentioned on the map, Jangjinri. In a flashback, the story takes us back to 1958 in Jangjinri itself, where a group of women led by a shaman are performing a ritual. The shaman is holding the red hair ribbon and seems to be searching for someone among the participants of the ritual. The scene then shifts to the shaman bringing raw meat to someone hidden under a blue sheet. As soon as the person under the sheet reaches out to grab the food, the shaman stabs them, and blood spills onto the nearby red hair ribbon.